So I had initially meant for this video to be a first impressions and a demo look video, but I was interrupted yesterday, so I used the shades that I didn't use yesterday today, so I used all the shades in the entire palette and can give you guys a review. And the palette that I'm referring to is the Marc Jacobs The Style Icon No.7 in the Dreamer, which is what I had mentioned at the beginning of my last video, which was a haul. So I purchased this off of the Marc Jacobs website because it wasn't available on the Sephora website at the time when I was looking for it. But I checked earlier today and it is on Sephora now. So those are the two places that I know that it's at. I believe Marc Jacobs, other than the Marc Jacobs website, is exclusive to Sephora. So anyway, here is the box, and the actual palette comes in a little sleeve with a button on here. It's like a vinyl type deal, and it says Marc Jacobs on there, just like his other Style Icon palettes. And then this one, for some reason, I know the other ones that I got, they came with a little sponge tip applicator in the bottom of the pouch. This one didn't come with one of those, so I don't know if they forgot it or if they're stopping doing that. So the top of the palette, this is what the casing looks like. It's black, just like the first four that he came out with. The summer one is white, but and it looks like this, and it does come with your plastic overlay on there like that. This is Marc Jacobs, and inside these are the shadows. The look that I did today, I kind of used a little bit of everything in the palette except for this peach right here, I think. Otherwise I kind of dabbed into each one of them. The look that I did yesterday was more of these shades right here. As far as the performance of the palette goes, the blendability, the pigmentation, all of that stuff was really great. Like I feel like the quality is really there in this one, and both days, both today and yesterday when I used it, I didn't have any fallout on my face at all. Granted, I do, just by nature, you know, give my brush a little tap when I pick up shades just to avoid any, if there is any, but sometimes I'll still get fallout depending on what the shadow is. This one, I didn't have any fallout. They blended, they were very easy to use, and I think it's a very wearable palette. The only thing that I think is missing out of here is kind of a mid-tone, maybe brown, even just a mid-tone anything type of shade, I think. This is your darkest shade right here, and then everything else is kind of light. This is a, you know, it's a gold, and it's not a really light gold, but it's not deep enough to be a definitive color. So you're kind of just working with this brown to be your defining, or your crease color, or your liner, or whatever have you. And so when I put that in the crease, I went to blend it out. Today, what did I blend? I tried to blend it out with this shade right here, which is a peachy orange, and it's very, very opaque and metallic. And when I did blend out this dark matte brown shade here, the opacity of the peach actually covered up a lot of the brown, and the brown turned the peach into a straight up gold color. And then when I went back into the crease to blend it, the metallicness of this shade just naturally gravitated over that brown. And I pretty much now, since I've had this on for a couple hours, with the lid shade also being metallic, I kind of lost all of the matte, like all of the matte that the brown had in the crease area is kind of all gone. It's got shimmer kind of covering it up. So here is the palette. The first shade you have here is a real bone shade, like and it is a matte shade. And then you have got your brown in the very center here, which is a nice chocolate matte brown shade. And this one here kind of reminds me a little bit of like Peach Smoothie from Makeup Geek. It is a matte peach shade. Everything else in here is pretty metallic. With these two are pretty metallic. This one is very metallic. This one here is kind of a shimmer, I guess I would call it, maybe. But there is no glitter shades in this particular palette. A lot of his other palettes do have, like, one whole shade will be a glitter shade, which I've heard a lot of people refer to as a glitter bomb. So this is what the palette looks like here, and it is called the Dreamer. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch these for you guys. Right here, this one's a matte. This one here is a real metallic frost. This one's pretty frosty as well. And then there's this brown one here. So you can see This one is a matte, that one's a matte, and these middle two are frosty metallic shades. Granted, the two lighter shades are pretty pretty close to my skin tone, but you can see how metallic that gold is there. And then the next three here are right there. Again, the gold and the peachy one, those ones are pretty metallic. This peachy, or the the orangey peach one, there in the middle, that's the one that when it went over the matte brown, it turned into a gold, which I found kind of neat. But and then this peach one is a matte. Right there. So the top palette is the Dreamer, and the bottom one is the Starlet. The Starlet is a palette that is all shimmer or metallicness. It's got a lot of metallicness to it, the Starlet, but they are pretty neutral shades. You can see there's a couple shades like that metallic peach in the top one, and then the middle one and the bottom one are kind of similar. They're not exact dupes though. I don't see anything in here that are exact dupes. The Dreamer has the three nice matte shades, although the Dreamer is lacking a mid-tone transition type shade. They could have substituted one of those lighter shades for sure, but that is those two compared to each other. Now I'll grab the Lolita and show it next to the Dreamer for you guys. So the top one is the Dreamer and the bottom one is the Lolita palette. The first three shades in the I'm having a hard time saying that, the Lolita, it's like a tongue twister, those first three shades are mattes and they're nice. Like this shade right here is kind of the shade that I feel like the Dreamer's lacking, is a shade kind of like this or like this. Otherwise I think there's a glitter shade in the center of the Lolita, and then these three over here are kind of shimmer metallic shades. So there are those compared to each other. So I do quite like the palette. I think that the quality, the ease of use, no fallout, blendability, all that stuff is great about it. It is lacking that transition shade. So although I do really like the performance of this palette and I like the looks that came out of it, you know, I did have to work with the dark shade in with those lights and kind of mush them together to for kind of that transition. But I do feel that all of these shades are very, very dupable. You could probably find similar things in the drugstore. I don't think that there's anything particularly unique about the colors, but the performance is very, very nice. So with that being said, if you're interested in the look that I did yesterday using this palette, kind of more of the orangey and golds and the peach, you can hang tight and we will get into it right now. I'm going to go ahead and prime my eyes with the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Lid Lines, which it's a pretty decent primer. It can kind of ball up sometimes with your shadow, but I'm just going to apply that from the lash line up to underneath the brow. Now on a flat shader brush, this is a Goss number 18, I'm going to go in with this shade right here, which is kind of a light champagne-y color. It's got shimmer in it. I'm going to pack this color all over the lid. I'm kind of having a hard time deciding because I want to use all of the colors, but I'm gravitating towards these guys here, but we'll see. So I'm going to pick up this one and pack this all over the lid. Excuse the noise, there is a Munchkin, literally a Munchkin kitty running around tearing the place up back there. Now on a fluffy Goss number 3 brush, I'm going to pick up this shade here, which is kind of a peachy shade, and it appears to be a matte. It's kind of like a satin matte, I'd call it. I'm going to pick that up on that fluffy brush, and I'm going to pop this underneath the brow. So it's a peachy orange shade. And on that same number 3 brush, I just kind of dusted it off on a towel. I'm going to pick up a tiny bit of this gold right here, and I'm going to put that right underneath the tip of the brow. Just right there. Just kind of blend it in there. So I'm just going to dip this into the matte brown color here in the center. And since it's dark, it doesn't seem to be kicking up a lot of product, but since it's dark, I always like to tap off the excess anyway, which there kind of isn't any. Anyway, I'm going to go right into the crease with this. Just blend it back and forth. And then I'm going to bring it up a bit. Pick up a tad more. Like so, and then I'm going to take this it's kind of a longer pencil type brush from Hakuhodo as well, and I'm going to pick up that same brown color, and I'm going to sharpen up my outer corner here. Pick up a bit more. So that I have a shape that's something like that. And then I'm going to go in with a Goss number 19 brush and pick up this shade right here, which is also a shimmer. It's like a shimmering peachy orange color. Pick up that. Tap it off. I'm trying my camera on a different autofocus setting, so hopefully it'll focus faster. Hopefully it will and it's not all blurry, but anyway, I'm going to go ahead and take this shade and blend out that dark brown shade. Right here, and I'm going to bring it all the way across here. That was a bit more opaque than I had anticipated. It's kind of covering up the brown a bit more than I thought it would. So now I'm just going to go back in with that Hakuhodo brush that I laid the brown down with. I'm not going to pick up any more product, but I'm going to blend this through the immediate crease here, and then I'm going to bring it up a bit. I feel like I actually do need a bit more of the deep brown shade, so I'm going to go ahead and pick up some of that on that same Hakuhodo fluffy brush and go back into the crease with it again here. These shadows are blending out super though. And then one more time with the Goss 19, not picking up any more product. I'm just going to blend this. So there are the eyes done. I didn't have any fallout on my face at all, which is totally awesome. So for lips, I thought coral, kind of corally today. So I'm gonna go ahead and line them and slightly fill them in with Makeup Forever Aqua Lip in 15C. Totally forgot to push the record button, but I went ahead and I filled in my lips over the 15C lip liner with Tom Ford's Flamingo lipstick. So that's what's on my lips. Anyway, there is the overall finished look using the Dreamer from Marc Jacobs, their new Style Icon No.7 palette. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!